Guy, have fun now.
Omo, I'm not really fine. Do you know they paid me last week and right now I can't even boast of up to 10,000 naira in my account?
Seriously?
Yes.
Did you budget?
Which one is budgeting? I'm not a politician.
That's why your money is missing like NEPA light.
But I didn't buy anything serious, shoes, bags, the thing that guys need now. And just like that, fiam, the money has disappeared.
But it's all these little things. That's why it's taking your money.
But what should I do?
See, you have to create a budget. You have to track your spending. You have to prioritize your needs over your wants. And you have to save before you spend, not the other way around.
So what you're trying to say that this money management thing is no child's play?
It's no child's play at all.
The Money Click is an annual financial literacy program to help you up your money game. The Money Click is not just about money, it's about mindset. So in the Money Click program, go beyond budgeting to rewire your thinking, to rewire your mindset, to change your thinking about income, to change your thinking about money management. So we'll help you grow your income, we'll help you manage it, we'll help you invest with confidence. Money is not just about what you know. Money is more about how you behave. And every day in the Money Click program, what we'll try to do is to influence how you behave about money. This is not just financial education. This is financial transformation. I will hope to see you become a part of it. Thank you.
All right, we are live. Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. Yes, I see that Mrs. Ann has been in the stream in the last 5 minutes, even before we started. Thank you so much, Ma, for being here. Happy to have you here today. Yes, it's another day of staying rooted. And there's a particular comment that I saw before I came up that said, yes, people are enjoying the current book that we're reading in the click. Right? As a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. There's another very, very powerful quote from that book. If you read it quite well and had some good concentration, and it is where Scott Anderson was trying to say that where attention goes, energy flows, and results show. Right? So where are you putting your attention? Where are you putting your focus? It's key to your results because that's where you're going to focus your energy. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's live session of Wednesday afternoon. My name is Chukwemeko Onyinizi, and I'm happy to have you here today. All right, so today we're going to be looking at if your thinking stays the same, your money too, right? In fact, if you're in the Money Click, this class will make so much sense to you, especially if you are reading the book of the month, right? The first book of the month. It will make a lot of sense to you. Just like the video that played before we started that said money first about how you behave, right? More than what you know, right? What determines how you behave? What determines how to behave? Part of it is how you think, right? There's a lot to do with how you think. One of the things about money is the approach which we follow. We think, many people want their financial situations to change, but people want more income, people want less stress, people want people want investment, people want stability, people want wealth. But the problem is that a very few people realize what is important to be on the journey to acquiring all those things. Only a few people, right? What is important for us to have in mind? The most important thing for us to have in mind as we're pursuing to have more income, more money, less stress, more wealth, is that money often changes after thinking changes. The first thing to change is our thinking. For me, that's one of the reasons why. Yes, I see. Madam Christine Island says that yes, that she came across it. Thank you, ma. So that's one of the things that that we need to bear in mind. We need to bear in mind that our thinking. See, our mind. I've said it over and over again. Your mind is the most powerful tool in your arsenal. You just don't understand how. You don't understand yet. Your mind is so powerful. And for me, that's why Money Click for me is a way of steering your mind towards thinking towards, your mind towards thinking more of what is important to help you grow your world, towards rewiring your mindset. Your mindset can change, but your money can't change if your mindset does not change. Your mindset needs to change. The way you think needs to change. Just like on Sunday, we're talking about the mindset of the rich versus the mindset of the poor. You cannot have the mindset of the poor and expect to have the same money as the wealthy. No. The first thing you need to change is the mindset. Your mindset is key. It holds key to your results. Your mindset holds key to your results. And that's the reason why not just Scott Anderson has said this, have Eka has said it, a whole lot of other authors have said this, that what you focus on is key. What you focus on expands, right? What you focus on is also, it determines your results, because where your focus goes, your energy goes, right? What you pay attention to determines where your energy goes, and that's what will determine your results. The thing is that subconsciously, most times, our attention is not in the right place. Our focus is not in the right place, subconsciously, but we really do not know it. Right? Anyway, I see more people join us, especially on Instagram. I see Madam Tony George. Yes, I see Teta Academy. I see Madam Linda Oko. And of course, I see our biggest distributor in Lagos. Right? Thank you so much, moms, for being here with us. Thank you. And thank you so much. All right. So, like I was saying, our mindset is important, right? Most times people think money is just about income problem. It's not just about it. Most times it's the mindset problem. Your mindset must change before your income will change. The reason why you are even earning the way you're earning today is as a result of your mindset. I've said it before a lot of times. There are a lot of people who would say they are 9 to 5 people. They will never do business or do any other thing or even invest in just 9 to 5. It's a mindset problem. They will not understand, but that 9 to 5 is going to create a ceiling over their income. Why? Because they have come to believe that that's the only thing that they can ever do. So it's a mindset problem, not an income problem. So you see them one day and they're wondering, oh, why is it that my income cannot get to this kind of level and all that? They might be blaming it on their employer. The employer is not the problem. The problem is the mindset. It's the mindset. Money most often is a behavioral thing. And what determines your behavior? Your habits. What determines your habits? The patterns that you carry out every day. Your habits are lodged somewhere. Your habits are part of your subconscious. And you can consciously, intentionally replace the bad habits you have about money. You can replace them. It's called neuroplasticity. You can replace them consciously. You can replace them intentionally. But you can't replace something unless you know it is a problem. Unless you have awareness. And that's also another reason why we come here every day. It's because of awareness. Right? It's because of awareness. So your financial life is usually a reflection of your thinking. It's a reflection of your thinking. All right? The way you think affects how you spend. The way you think affects how you save. There are people who don't believe they have to save. There are people who don't think they ever have to save. It is because of the way their brain has been wired to think about saving. If your brain has been wired to see spending as a normal thing, that every money you earn every day has to be spent, you will spend without looking back. It is a wiring. You've been wired to think that way. For those that are in the Money Click program, I've told you a lot about money blueprints and how your blueprints determines your programming about money. That programming is a wiring. It determines how you think about money. It determines what you think about money. So it's important. The way you think determines how you invest. The way you think determines how you respond to pressure. The way you think determines how you handle opportunities. And just in this Wednesday live session, some days ago or weeks ago rather, I talked about it. I made reference to the COVID-19 pandemic era and how if your mindset is prepared to see opportunities, you see opportunities. If your mindset is prepared to just blame and complain, the only thing you will see are problems. So how you think determines if you can see opportunities. And that's why whenever we're faced with in difficult situations, most times all we're concerned about is just whining and complaining about the problem. Meanwhile, if your mindset was set up to be able to see opportunities in any situation, the first thing you will see will be solutions, and solutions will lead you to money. Your mindset even determines how you recover from your mistakes. There are people who feel once they make mistakes, they don't have to try again. There are people who their mindset is their biggest problem. If we sit down to really look at ourselves, to think about it, we will come to see that the biggest problem we have is our mindset. It's our mindset. And you see this mindset thing. That's also another reason why you should have a mentor or an accountability partner. So that whenever you think your mind is beginning to tell you something that you don't like, that do not take you to where you need to go to, find somebody who can talk you out of it. Who can tell you, no, don't worry, no, don't think like that. This thing, you can do it. Do it, you can do it. Remember, you can do it. It's a lot. All right? So our mindset is key. Two people can earn the same amount of money today, right? But they will live completely different lives. Why? Simply because income matters, yes, but thinking determines what happens to the income. How you think determines what happens to the income. That's why you're going to be you see a lot of people, let's say in an office, a lot of people on the same level, but the way they spend money are totally different. The same level, they're earning the same thing, but one person is spending money in a certain way that is beneficial to their financial health, another person is not. It is as a result of how they think. It's as a result of how they think. Just like a lot of people have come to the Money Click program and given testimonies to say that, oh, before I came to the Money Click program, this is how my thinking was about money. I'll give you a story that I never forget, right? And she's still at the Money Click today. Before the Money Click, she said that she used to think being in debt was a normal thing. That she thought being in debt was a normal thing. Right? She grew up in an environment where everybody said that. What is debt? It's okay to be in debt. After all, the Nigerian government is in debt. Who are we not to be in debt? Until she came into the Money Click, realized that this is a wrong mindset that has been holding her back. She has worked in the bank before Money Click for 7 years until she heard this message. This year was the first year she became debt-free. Not just debt-free, she had different parcels of land bought in the location where she lives to prove her progress. What changed in her? It's not her income that changed. What changed was her mindset. What needs to change for you is not more money. What you need to change is your mindset. Your mindset will determine how you spend. It determines how you invest. It determines every single behavioral pattern that affects your money. Right? It determines it. So a lot of people, many people have done different results without different thinking. That's the biggest problem. And this is the reason why a lot of people are stuck financially. You want a different result for your money, but you don't want to change how you think. And a lot of people think there's a magic wand that makes it happen, that everything changes for you. That magic wand, I tell you, is here, is your thinking. That's the magic. But the truth is, it doesn't happen overnight. So if you don't change the way you think, you repeat the same habits that are holding you down. If you don't change the way you think, you will make the same emotional decisions that are keeping you down. If you don't change the way you think, you avoid learning. It's quite interesting. when the book reviews happen, and as the book reviews are happening, you see that, oh, there's quite a few number of people who are joining the book reviews. In fact, not if my problem is not even people joining the book reviews, it's the people who are actually reading the books. Lesser people are reading the books. I see people that are marveled about the book that we're currently reading in the Money Click, but also somewhere in my mind, I'm saying there are people who are still not reading this book. There are people who are not reading this. There are people who are still not getting this light that other people are getting. It's simply because of still the way they think. That's the way they avoid. That's the reason why they're avoiding learning. Because the only reason why you're not reading the book of the month is because you're avoiding learning. It's because you're indisciplined. It's all a pattern. It's because you resist discipline. Resisting discipline is a function of your thinking. That's why you resist discipline. That's why you can't sit down to read. That's why you can't sit down to read at least 5 pages of a book a day. Because your brain does not want to go out of its comfort zone. I explain this a lot whenever we go through the class of healing from financial trauma. Healing from financial trauma. And it's a course, it's going to happen in July. It's a course everybody should be in. Why? Because I explain a lot of things in that course that happens to your brain and why you find it difficult. There's something called the point of resistance. So your brain wants to be comfortable. Your brain does not like things that it is not used to. Your brain, how did they say it? I just want to relax and enjoy. That kind of thing, that kind of feeling. That's your brain. That's your brain. So if you're not used to reading and we give you books, first some people will be complaining that these books are too much. They are not too much. Some people say, I'm reading in TIP, I'm reading in TMS, I'm reading in Money Click too. Too many things to read. They are not too many. The problem is that your brain was not wired to learn the way it should. It's the wiring that you have. So your brain now sees it like, oh, it's too much. Oh, it's too much books to read. It's not too much books to read. All these things are a product of your thinking. You need to change your thinking. You need to rewire your mindset. You need rewiring. And how do you do that? How you do that is by pushing yourself every day. Discipline. You need to replace the pattern of not reading with the pattern of reading. Start small. You've been struggling with reading for the past how many years? For there are people that all the books you've read in the clique, they've not read one. Funny enough. There are people that they don't read until it's their turn to review the books. And that's you see why. Well, it's funny. My admin was reached out to me the other day, and he told me that some people, especially she said in the March cohort, said they want to change their review dates. I said, why? They said they won't have time to review. But I said, so who will take up the dates that they're going to swap it? Because we've shared it and somebody already has made plans. So who would you bring back to come and take your review dates? Now, if you're not willing to do the review in June that you were assigned to, it means you've already told yourself you're not going to read the book. Because most of us don't even read until it's our turn to review. If we're not reviewing, we're not concerned about the book. That's the reason a lot of us cannot even join the reviews, because a lot of people don't know what the book is talking about. They're going to be lost if they join. We need to change the way we think. See, the way we think is our biggest stumbling block with the way we learn. It's affecting the way we learn. We can't learn because our thinking does not support learning. Doesn't support learning. We want all the good things in life, but our thinking is holding us back. There's a process to it. Part of the process is learning. It's reading. It's reading. A month goes by. There are people that are in TIP, TMS, Money Click, that you're in a system where in a month, you see yourself, you should be reading at least 6 books, but in a month you read none. You need to change your thinking. You need to make efforts. You need to understand the role of neuroplasticity. You need to replace that pattern of not reading with the pattern of reading. Start small. Start small. You can even start reading a page every day. A page every day. Just tell yourself, this new book we're reading, The Click, I'll try and read one page every day. Trust me. If you do one page every day consistently for 1 month, right? Even if you don't catch up with us, the next month you can do more. The more you read, the more you'll have the zeal to even read more. Right? The more you'll be pushed to want more, to read more, to know what's happening in the book. A lot of us, we want wealth, we want this, we want that. All these things are in books that we're not willing to read. Right? We're not willing to read. Repeated thinking produces repeated outcomes. If we keep thinking the way we think, you will keep producing the same results you produce. Trust me. Trust me, you keep producing the same results. The same results. Right? So if someone avoids budgeting, spends emotionally, fears investing, follows pressure spend, refuses to plan, more income alone will not solve the problem. It won't. The financial struggle will simply grow to its higher level. More income alone will not solve his problem. So let's look at some of the reasons why many people want different results with but without different thinking. Why? What are the consequences? Number one, scarcity thinking creates financial fear. Scarcity thinking creates financial fear. Some people constantly think there's never enough. Money always finishes. I can never get ahead. Some of us were raised in scarcity, so we still have the scarcity mindset. Some people call it the poor mindset. Just like we reviewed in January cohort in the last Money Cliff class on Sunday. Right? Some people have that mindset. That mindset. Some of us have it. Right? And that mindset affects a lot of things. That mindset is the reason why you panic. You panic and you spend. It's the reason why you fear investing. Some of us do not invest because of anything, but because of our mindset. Some of us are afraid to invest. Like I've told you before, sometimes it could be as a result of past experiences. Not even our own experience, it could be the experience of our parents or other people while we're growing up. Right? We avoid calculated risk. We hoard money emotionally. We make desperate financial decisions. I've told you the story of somebody who hoards money. It comes from a place of scarcity to hoard money. Keep money in the bank. You don't spend it. You don't invest it. Just keep it in the bank. You want to be seeing it there. It's from a place of scarcity. And it is not just scarcity that is responsible. Scarcity was what caused it. But what has fueled it to continue is the trauma that scarcity brought. A lot of us are financially traumatized. So there's this story. It's not a story. This has happened, this has happened. Thank you so much, Madam Christie. So I gave myself a target of reading 10 books a month. Now I read 4 books a month. I'm graduate. Exactly. You need to start from somewhere. Right? Madam Anne says, Coach Randy will always say that the brain always does what it's repeated and not what is right. Yes. The brain will always choose what is comfortable for it. It doesn't matter if what is comfortable is deadly to your financial health. It doesn't matter. The brain just does what it knows. That's what the brain does. So back to my story. So this particular woman, she was working in the organization where I was working then, right? And she had a behavior. You know this thing that people do, that they go to occasion and they pack rice. They pack rice and put in their bag and go home. It is a mindset problem. It is a poverty mindset problem. It's a scarcity mindset thing. Sometimes it's not because they don't have food at home. It's just the way they've been wired to think. They think it will finish, it will finish, it will finish. They are always collecting. So this woman was that kind of person. If you take her to a party, when there's any occasion in the office, be sure that she would have like 10 extra packs of food in her home. And she's always among people who are in the organizing committee. One day, the people who were in her department found out something that shocked everybody. She lives like the poorest person you can ever imagine. So one day they said EFCC invited her. What was the problem? She had millions that have been sitting in her account for years, right? That she has failed to touch. So she just went and explained and came back. Now, this is somebody that she doesn't invest that money. The money stays there. Neither does she do anything to her life. The money just stays there. She hoards it. That's the word. She just hoards the money. She makes it and she hoards it. Doesn't need the soothsayer to tell that she's coming from a place of scarcity and trauma as well. Right? And trauma. Right? So that's what makes her to keep hoarding her money, keep hoarding her money. She doesn't live in a good home. She doesn't want to buy one, nor rent a good one. If they put you in her house, you might not last there 30 minutes, you will run away. Mindset. Mindset. See, a fearful mind rarely builds wealth. If your mind is fearful, you will struggle with wealth building. Number two is victim thinking that keeps people stuck. Victim thinking. Victim thinking. And we've talked a lot about victim thinking here, right? We've talked a lot about victim thinking. Victim thinking is a problem. It's a problem. Some people blame everybody around them. We said that victims have three things that they are known for: they blame, they complain, and they justify. Right? Government did not do anything. What is wrong with this country? Nothing moves. Don't mind those ones that have money. They are the ones that did rituals. So the first you blamed, you complained, and the last you justified. So instead of you to accept that, oh, this person put in effort and made their money, and then its economy can be bad and this person can be making so much money. I need to learn what this person is doing. No, you just decide to justify that he's just lucky, or he's just doing one illegal thing or the other. Just justify. So some people, all they do is they blame the economy, they blame the government, they blame their family background. So some people, that their problem is not even the government, it's their family. If not for this family that I was raised in, this would have been better. They blame the salary. They blame every other person apart from themselves. While the person's reasons might be valid. Yes, the economy is bad, the government is not doing well, your family background might be holding you down. But here's the problem with when you just blame. Victim thinking, blaming removes personal responsibility. So when you now just blame, you just feel every other person has the problem apart from you. Like some people feel that it is my uncle in the city that took my star. Have you heard that one before? That their uncle in the city who is doing well, the person is in the village, that's the person who took their star. And that's the reason why they can't progress in life. Exactly. She's a typical example of the man who buried one talent. Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. So blaming is deadly. Blaming is deadly. Right? So victim thinking removes responsibility. It takes away your responsibility. So you now feel that everything about your life is about the government. Everything about your life that didn't go well is because of your personal background. You take no personal responsibility for yourself. Right? And here is the thing. Very important, and I want you to write it down. Responsibility is where financial transformation begins. I say it again. Responsibility is where financial transformation begins. You cannot change what you refuse to take ownership of. So until you take ownership of your personal finance and stop blaming the government for it, nothing will change. Why? Because of your thinking. If you stop blaming your parents and take responsibility, if you don't stop blaming your parents and take responsibility, nothing will change. So you need to take responsibility. Right? Yes, thank you, Madam Tony George. You're claiming your uncle took your star, but you can't sustain a burning firewood. Thank you so much. Exactly. Exactly. Now, number three. Number three is consumption thinking prevents wealth. Consumption thinking prevents wealth. See, a lot of us are raised with the consumption thinking. A lot of us are raised to just consume. A lot of people, the only thing they think about is how they will spend, impress, immediate enjoyment. It's all about just spending, consumption. Few people think about ownership, investing, cash flow, assets, long-term wealth, right? And this is the reason. See, this mindset of consumption, this no mindset of ownership or no mindset of investing, this mindset of consumption is the reason why you see some people, they earn for so many years, they work for so many years, they earn for so many years, earn well, yet there's nothing to show for it. It's not because they didn't earn well. It's not because, the employer didn't, they earned well. The problem simply is they did not change their mindset. They didn't change their mindset. And there are a lot of people you can see. You see somebody who has worked for 20 years in a very high earning area, but there's absolutely nothing to show for it. It's simply because their mindset have been wired to just consume. Because they think, we're earning well, so what's there? Every month, more money will come in. So they just keep earning and just keep burning it. So their thinking is mainly focused on consumption. Remember, where your focus goes, where attention goes, your focus goes, your energy flows and results show. Right? If your thinking is focused mainly on consumption, you will get results. Your results will show for it. If your thinking is focused on ownership in the last 20 years of your life, you will see it, the things you own. On investing, you will be seeing it right now. So you need to look at your life and ask yourself, what thinking do I have? Ask yourself, in the last 10 years of my life, what have I owned? It will tell you if your thinking is wired for consumption or for ownership, or for creativity, or for production. Right? Number 4 is short-term thinking destroys long-term progress. Many financial mistakes happen because people prioritize the wrong things. People prioritize immediate comfort. For them, it's all about what is coming now. They prioritize immediate comfort. They prioritize instant gratification. They prioritize social validation. That's the first thing that comes to their mind. Right? This morning, I saw a video this morning where there are 2 roommates, right? And the 2 roommates, one complained that she does not have money to contribute for the rent for the month. But meanwhile, she just bought a Rolex watch. So the other one was asking her, so how is it that you're buying a Rolex watch, but you can't pay your rent? It is because the mindset of the person buying a Rolex watch is wired for instant gratification, for social validation. So wearing a Rolex watch that everybody will see is far more important to that person than paying their bills. And a lot of us are on this boat. We're on this boat of social validation. how we want to be seen, spending because of how we want to be seen. We're on this boat of instant gratification. We're on this boat of immediate comfort. Some of us can't get uncomfortable for once. Because we're always buying things to impress other people. Because we're always spending. Some of us spend, we save, but the way we spend our savings recklessly or more. Because we neglect investment. Some of us take very unnecessary debts. Unnecessary debt. Some people get into debt because they want to beautify their homes so that it will look wonderful when other people come. That's social validation. Some people go and borrow money to furnish their house and make their house look good for the visitors. That's social validation. Right? Some people, it's all about what others can see them wearing. They want to look good, you know? They want to look like money. And there's a difference between looking like money and having the money. Right? Because wealth is built in patience, is built in silence, with consistency and long-term thinking. So why building wealth? You need to take out what you're seeing today. It's not just about today, it's about tomorrow. It's about tomorrow. And that's why when people who do not understand wealth building see people that have wealth, they think it's something that happened overnight. No, they've been building for years. It's not overnight something. The reason why a lot of people can't see it is because all they think about is in the now. You must be able to think 20 years from now, 30 years from now. You must be able to think long term if you want to create wealth. Number 5 is emotional thinking. Emotional thinking creates financial chaos. Number 5, emotional thinking creates financial chaos. You know, many people rather make money decisions emotionally, right? They spend money because they feel stressed. They spend money because they feel pressured. Thus, pressure from family comes like this. They just, please, you just take the money and leave me alone. There are people that cannot withstand pressure, that can't create boundaries. Please, they should just take the money. So if I have my pay, just give them. If it means giving everything they have. If it means taking everything they have. Yes, thank you so much, Madam Linda. Neuroplasticity cannot take place if you're not in a community like the Money Click. Why? Because it is about what you repeatedly hear. Neuroplasticity is you changing your patterns. So you need to hear it every day. Every day. You need to hear it every day before that change can happen. It needs to be repeated. Thank you so much for putting that in, Mark. Right? So back to emotional thinking that creates financial chaos. It's you spending because you're feeling insecure. You feel insecure, so you go and buy the things that you don't even need. You buy things you don't need, you have no business with. You feel excited, you also overspend. Or it's simply you just want validation. Just want validation. Right? One thing is that your emotions will always change. Their emotions are constantly changing. Right? So when financial wisdom requires you to have a structure, so you're not changing your spending according to your emotions. This is why budgeting, this is why systems, this is why planning matters a lot. See, systems protect you from emotional decisions. If you have a system where there's a certain amount of money you can give out in a month, that is what protects you when there's a lot of pressure for you to give. We've said this over and over again. Right? In a lot of our homes, in our environment, especially in Africa, you know, financial thinking is heavily shaped by survival mentality. Survival mentality. Right? That's how our thinking have been shaped, our financial thinking have been shaped. Our financial thinking is shaped by social pressure. Our financial thinking is shaped by extended family expectations. That's the reason why you see a young person who is coming up in life, they're not really concerned about themselves. What they're concerned about is uplifting their other family members at the detriment of their own financial health. In a lot of African environments, financial thinking is shaped by religious pressure, by comparison culture, by fear of appearing unsuccessful, right? So you spend to look successful. You give beyond your capacity because of pressure. You give beyond your capacity, right? You avoid investing. You fear taking financial risks, and you're unwilling to learn. You prioritize your appearance over your financial stability. These are the things that affect our money. The result is high financial pressure with little long-term progress. This is how our thinking, or different kinds of thinking, that has been affecting our money stories. Wealthy thinking looks entirely different from those things I've mentioned. Families and individuals who build wealth, they think differently. They don't think like this. They think about ownership instead of appearance. They think about ownership instead of appearance. Right? For some, you see somebody that all they want is they want to drive 2 Mercedes Benz, 3 Range Rovers, but they don't even own one property. You see another person on the other hand, they own 5 properties and they drive a single car. Wealth thinking is ownership instead of appearance. One is ownership, one is just appearance. Some of us are just after appearance. Some of us just want to appear rich, not really to be rich. Right? Not really to be rich. We just want to appear rich. We just want to look rich. Right? The wealthy think about investments instead of constant consumption. So their focus, just like we read in Think Like a Billionaire, their focus is to invest. That's their focus. They think systems ahead of emotions. They think long-term stability instead of temporary excitement. And to help this thinking, there are certain questions they ask themselves. I'll give you the questions one at a time, and I would like you to write those questions down. Number 1, will this grow or drain me? So the next time you're spending, ask yourself, will this grow or drain me? Will this grow or drain me? Right? Somebody please help us put this in the comments. Will this grow or drain me? Number 2, what happens 10 years from now? You need to be able to think long term. What happens 10 years from now? 10 years from now, what happens? There's this comment that just cracked me up from Instagram from Madam Tony Judge. She says, AKA, let me look like what I'm going through. That's exactly the mindset of appearance that we're talking about. That appearance thing is that let's not look like what we're going through. Right? Thank you so much for that. Will this grow or drain me? Yes. What happens 10 years from now? We need to ask ourselves that question. 10 years from now, where will you be? What happens? Ask yourself another question. Number 3 question. Does this purchase improve my future? You need to be able to look at all your purchases in the month, in the whole month, and ask yourself, out of all the purchases in this month, how many of them would help to improve my future? That's how you know if you're investing or not, or you're just consuming. And the last, right? Number 3 is, does this purchase improve my future? The last is, am I building assets or just buying liabilities. Some of us are heavily buying liabilities. Heavily. We're heavily purchasing liabilities. Am I buying assets or just buying liabilities? Here is another very important thing about your mindset, like I've told you earlier. Your mindset affects your financial ceiling. Your mindset affects your financial ceiling. You know, a lot of people unknowingly sabotage themselves. Why? Because subconsciously in their mind, they believe wealth is bad. They believe rich people are greedy. They believe success causes a lot of problems. There are people who are afraid of success. They don't want problems. So, so they won't be telling you justifying. Do you know what these people who have success, do you know what they go through? Hey, God. Right? Some people believe they're not capable of financial success. So this hidden belief is quietly, subconsciously sabotaging them. Right? It's affecting their confidence. It's affecting their opportunities, their decision making. And above all, it's affecting their financial behavior. See, sometimes our biggest financial battle is internal. It's internal, it's not external. Right? And that's the reason why I say that in the Money Click, we teach you about money the way a lot of people do not. A lot of people just what they focus on money is just all about come spend, come invest, put your money here, invest. But here's the thing: if you don't fight the internal battles, right? If you don't get the internal results, you won't get the external results. If you don't work on yourself, probably to become that person who would have a better financial behavior, you can invest today because somebody told you to. In 3 months' time, you will liquidate that investment. You won't even allow it to grow. And that's one thing that we do in the Money Click program is helping you understand that understanding money is not just about saving and investing. There is an internal part that you need to fix for the external parts like savings, investing, and money management to work out better. That internal part are things like your mindset, first of all. There are things like your emotions. There are things like your self-discipline. So for you to change your financial results, you need to change certain things. There are certain things that must change, and those things are all internal before your results will begin to change. Number one, for the purpose of this class, right? What you need to do is first, you need to change what you consume mentally. Change what you consume mentally. What is going into your mind every day? What is going into your mind every day? What are you mentally consuming? Just like we brought out books for people to read, but they are not consuming the books. They are consuming other things. If all that you consume daily is gossip, trend, entertainment, comparison culture, your financial thinking will remain shallow. You need to read books. You need financial education. You need to be in accountability and communities like the Money Click. Because the reason for Money Click and most accountability groups is, now I want to give you a few things that you need to focus on for you to change what you consume mentally. One are your books. You need to have more financial education. You need to change your investment principles. You need to understand other people's biographies. You need to have wealth building ideas. It is difficult for you to do most of these things on your own. You need to be in a community where other people are doing the same thing, are moving in the same direction. That is what will encourage you. If you do it on your own, it will be difficult to achieve. Because you're fighting a battle that is bigger than you. There are some battles that are better fought in communities. And this is one of them. Mental change, rewiring. And just like Madam Linda said, neuroplasticity is best done in communities. But if you're part of the community, also ensure that you're putting in the work. Also ensure you're pushing yourself. Right? Ensure you're pushing yourself. So you need new information for you to rewire your mindset. You need new information. See, new information creates new perspectives. There is no neuroplasticity with your old information. They're talking about neuroplasticity, but you don't want to read. You don't want to read books. You don't want any form of financial education. You want to remain where you are. You cannot create a new pattern without new information. You will just remain where you are. Yes, thank you, man. It really can't be overemphasized. It can't. New information creates new perspectives. Number two thing that you need to do is to learn delayed gratification. Train yourself to pause before spending. Right? Use the 24 hours rule like we've taught with the money click. Ask yourself 30 questions. Do I really need this? Right? Ask yourself there's one question you need to ask yourself before you do those emotional spendings. The question is, what future opportunity am I sacrificing? See, for every time you buy something you don't need, for every time you spend emotionally, for every time you spend out of immediate gratification, there is a future opportunity you're sacrificing. There's a future opportunity you're sacrificing. Number three is to build systems. Don't just rely on motivation. And that's why systems like the Money Click helps you. Don't rely on motivation. You want to just motivate yourself. The people that started motivation this year, where are we now? The people that said, this year, I will do this, I will do that. Where are you now? It's not about motivation. You need systems. Right? You need systems. Okay? So create systems around your budgeting, around automatic saving, around investing, systems around your spending boundaries. If you know that you are so indisciplined that once the money is available, you will spend it, restrict yourself, put systems. Put systems that will restrict you from doing it. Right? Put systems that will restrict you from doing it. Put systems. Sometimes we don't put any system and we just, at the end of the day, we're blaming ourselves. You need systems. You just don't rely on motivation. When you get a piece of yam, right? And you bring a goat and you put in front of the piece of yam, you don't go and preach to the goat that don't eat this bit of yam because this piece of yam is not for you, it's for the master of the house. What do? You separate the goat from the yam. That's the system. You separate the goat from the yam. If you don't, the goat will eat the yam. That's what it knows. So some of us have gotten so indisciplined, so soaked in our emotional spending that we are like goats to yams with money. There's no how there will be money in front of us, we will not spend it. There's no how. It's not possible. I'm not saying we're good too, please. I'm just giving an example. There's no how they will put money in front of us, we will not spend it. It's not possible. Put systems to restrict you from the money. You cannot be somebody who spends anyhow, and then your savings account is the same as your spending account. What are you expecting? You're telling yourself you will not touch it, but you know you will touch it. You've tried, you will not touch it for 3 years. You're still touching it. How do you think it will automatically change overnight? You see, when systems become stronger, discipline becomes easier. All right. Number 4 is think ownership. Think ownership. Instead of only thinking, what can I buy? Think, what can I own that grows over time? What can I own? This is the shifts in thinking, that will lead you to investing, businessing. But you see, this thinking ownership does not just happen overnight. And that's why I say you need to be in a community. You need to be in a community to remind you time after time that these are the things that you need to do. And if you're in the community, follow what is happening in the community. If every day you don't make out time to follow the money tips, then you're missing an integral part of the community. You're missing an integral part of the community. Some people think it's just about coming once in a month to come and watch the master classes. The master classes are not, they are not the things that will trigger the neuroplasticity. It's not the master classes. It is the daily tips. It is reading them. It is journaling based on them, internalizing them. Neuroplasticity is you changing your pattern of thinking. Your pattern of thinking does not change with what one class every month. It changes with hearing the same thing every day. That's why the money tips are key for you. Number 5 is accept responsibility. No matter your background, right? No matter where you come from, financial growth starts when you stop waiting for rescue. Right? Stop waiting for rescue. Responsibility creates power. Stop waiting for the government to rescue you. Stop waiting for an uncle to rescue you. Stop waiting for an auntie, a relative to rescue you. Rescue yourself. Yes, thank you, Madam Tony Jo. Don't be a backyard community member, please. Don't be a backyard community member. So Mr. Joseph said, good I am is the best illustration that he's been posed today. Thank you so much, sir. It's a pleasure, sir. Right? So accept responsibility. Take responsibility for your financial situation. Right? Take responsibility. Right? Take responsibility. Tell yourself nobody's coming to rescue you. You have to rescue yourself. You know, Jim Rohn said that your level of success will rarely exceed your level of personal development. I don't know if you've heard that before. Your level of success will rarely exceed your level of personal development. Jim Rohn said, if you don't change, nothing will change for you. So if you want any part of you to change, you first have to change. Right? You have to change. Albert Einstein said that we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. Have we heard that before? We can't solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. Ask yourself, are you solving your money problems with the same thinking you used when you created those problems? Some of us were still in the thinking that created the problem. That's the reason why we're finding it difficult to get out of the problem. That's the reason why a lot of us are struggling. Right? So if the habits, if the mindset, if the emotional patterns, if the financial decisions remain unchanged, the financial outcomes remain unchanged also. So many people are trying to increase income without increasing wisdom. But here's the thing, money amplifies your thinking. So if your financial thinking is weak, more money will simply create bigger mistakes, bigger pressure, bigger financial problems. If you're all about appearance, right, and zero ownership, then even if you have 2 Range Rovers and you make more money, you add Bentley and Cadillac to it. That's what we're trying to say. Money amplifies the thinking you already have. So that's why the first thing you need to approach is your thinking. Your thinking. If you don't change your thinking, you will create bigger mistakes, you will create bigger pressure, you will create more financial problems. Your financial future is not only shaped by how much you earn. Stop thinking that. It's shaped by how you think. It's shaped by what you believe. It's shaped by the decisions you repeat every day, the decisions you repeatedly make. And if your thinking stays the same, your money also will remain the same, right? Real financial transformation begins internally first, like I told you earlier. And one place that follows the approach of helping you transform internally before external transformation is the Money Click program. No other accountability group, right, does that. What the focus on is just on the external. We are the only ones who focus on transforming you internally as well as externally. And if you're not yet in the Money Click program, you have an opportunity to join us in the next cohort of the Money Click program that will be coming up next year, January. The details for registration are right on your screen right now. Join us in the 2027 Money Click program. You have an opportunity to be a part of it, right? You have an opportunity to be a part of it. Please join us and get on the journey to rewiring your mindset. Like I told you, like the intro that played before we started, the Money Click more is more about how you behave than what you know. And your behavior is all about your thinking. It's all about your mindset. So there are numbers on your screen, scrolling your screen. Reach out to those numbers and book your slot in the 2027 Money Click program. Coming up also with us here in the Naira Academy are courses that we're going to be holding very soon. Next week, we'll have a course on Money Management 101. Right? If you've never taken this course before, you have an opportunity to be a part of this course. One thing about Money Management 101 is it's not just about where you just learn how to manage your money. Money Management 101 is where you also understand why you manage money the way you do. So we take two approaches in teaching you how to manage money, the internal and the external approach, right? If you missed this course, even if you're in the Money Click, you missed it, please use an opportunity. If you're not in the Money Click, please, you have an opportunity to take short courses like this before Money Click program starts next year. All right. So also we have the How to Make Money from Stocks webinar coming up also again, right? In the month of June, right? We had the last one in April. Another one is coming up in June. Please seize this opportunity and be a part of this course, right? Learn. Don't be afraid of financial education. Learn. That's the only way you change your thinking about investing. Some people see stocks as one hard thing, one thing that is difficult. When you attend this course, you understand that investing indeed is not as hard as it seems. It's just because you've not known. It's just because you've been uneducated, right? Wait till you know no pass you, like we say, right? So please gain education. Come join the How to Make Money from Stocks webinar and get a full understanding of how to approach stock investing and stop doing it the wrong way. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. It's been a pleasure being a part of. Been a pleasure having you be a part of us today. Everybody who joined us from both YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Yes, Money Click to the world. Thank you so much. Yes, I see a comment by Mrs. Tony George. She says, this session is just my 7 a.m. morning prayer and it has hit me, and my offering box will be my implementation. Thank you, Ma. Yes, Money Click to the world. Money Click to the world. Yes, indeed, Money Click indeed will get to the world. We're getting there one step at a time. We're not in a hurry at all. We're not in a hurry. Someday we would be worth thousands in the Money Click. It's just time, right? We'll get there. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here today. Spread the message of the Money Click. Spread the message of the Naira Academy, right? Tell people that there is a solution to their money problems. Thank you for all being a part of this session today. 1 hour on the dot. More than 1 hour, 1 hour, 5 minutes we've gone here today. All right. Remember, for anybody who has missed it, you can always tell them that there'll be replays. My name is Chukwemeka Onyelezi. I'm your billionaire coach, and this is me signing out for today. But remember, we're going to be back again tomorrow, 12 noon, right? And tomorrow we'll have yet another very interesting discussion to have. Please don't miss it. All right. Have a very good day ahead. I'll see you again. Bye-bye.